nation demands your devotion. Let us all unite to uphold her and make her great and strong. We are all involved. We are all involved. We are all involved in building our motherland. We are all involved. We are all involved. We are all involved in building our motherland. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are. Welcome to Building a National Identity series one more time. Yesterday's broadcast was in Chi. I did that purposefully because I wanted to address my people. It was a message I did not want to share with the world yet. It was a call to action. It was a call to engage, and it was meant for us and us only. I got a lot of feedback from yesterday, and a lot of it was requesting that I do it in English so we can share with our children and with friends and family members who might not necessarily speak Chi. And that's the reason why I wanted to do this in English today. That probably would be the theme. I would do certain things in Chi when I want to address us directly. And the ones I want to share with the world, we would do in English. I hope that's fine with you. Okay, so I started today with this song, Arise Ghana Youth for Your Country. A lot of people might be familiar with the lyrics. People may have sang it as children and may not remember what the words actually meant. It says, arise for your country. The nation is not requesting. The nation demands your devotion. Let us all unite to uphold her, to make her great and strong, just as we all want to see. It would never happen if individually we relegate this task to other people. The government alone is not going to build a happy country for us. They are not going to build a legacy to pass on to our children and our children's children. It is up to each and every one of us to take on the mantle and to support the agenda. My question is, are you ready to commit? Do you understand what is actually required? Are you ready to sacrifice, to make the sacrifices necessary to get us to this point? If you are, let me know. If you are watching the video live, please invite other people to join the discussion. Please share with your network. Please invite other people to come and contribute, because that's what I really want. I want this to be a discussion. Okay. As I said yesterday, it's not everybody. I mean, we would contribute in different ways. There are some people who have large amounts of money to invest in the economy, and by all means, we are throwing an invitation to those people to reinvest at home. Absolutely. Change lives with the capital you have. There are others who might not have the capital to invest, but might have skills and knowledge developed elsewhere. And again, the call out is for you to return to the motherland with everything you have, everything you know. Okay. Now, my special interest is in revenue creation. My special interest is in empowering communities, so people who live in their local communities are able to sustain themselves within the communities, so that people are not running to Accra and to Kumasi and to urban areas to participate in demeaning activities, to engage in activities which might not be wholesome, which might make our national identity difficult to promote. If everybody in their community is able to sustain themselves, believe you me, most people would happily stay where they are, where they know people. Arise Ghana Youth for Your Country. Lawyer Bafuboni, welcome to the program. Absolutely. I would like to know what that means to most people when you hear that. It is a patriotic song. It's supposed to rouse passion in people. It's a call to action. It's not just fine music. I mean, the rhythm is nice, but it goes beyond that. I would like to look at communities. I would like to look at activities that people would be able to engage with. to create revenue, to empower people within the communities they live in, to change outcomes. I'm a woman. My prime interest is in women because actually, traditionally in Ghana, it is mothers and industrious mothers who fight to educate their children, who change outcomes for their children. And I really, really want to work with groups which are involved with women, skill creation in women, capacity building in women in order for them to transform families and their communities. So I have a story. I have a story to share with you. And my story, I started a little bit of it from yesterday's video, and it was to do with tourism. Most of my friends call me Amma the Traveler because I like to travel. I think when you go to different places, you witness different things, you learn from other people, and you broaden your horizon. So I went to Ghana, very proud Ghanaian, with my children in tow, wanting to show them the beautiful places in Ghana. And believe me, it is beautiful. What I actually noticed was completely missing was the revenue creation from the tourism industry. The particular case I want to raise was Navrongo Cathedral. I had heard so much about Navrongo Cathedral. I had heard so much about Larabanga Mosque. I had heard so much about Paga, and I wanted to go to these places. And whilst I was in Paga and in these places, I wanted to get souvenirs to take with me, to show that I had been there, to remind the children that we had been there. And it was so difficult to find. I mean, the straw hats and a lot of other things are available. But the straw hat is not going to be something people would have. We are looking for practical items for all sorts of people. There are general souvenir items across board that you find in other countries which are really, really committed to capacity building within the tourism industry. I went to Navrongo Cathedral. I think I actually made it inside the grotto. I took photos, beautiful photos. But not a good morning was said to me. What are you doing here? What do you want to find? And I think that's a huge missed opportunity within the tourism industry. Our tourism sites definitely need to have personnel manning them. There should be a system for entry. Of course, people who come to these things should not come and experience it for free. We want to sustain these artifacts. We want to sustain these structures, and it requires money. Money the government is not going to devolve from national capital. It has to come from the community generation projects. Navrongo Cathedral should definitely have people, a tourism office anyway. There should be an office responsible for the cathedral, explaining to people what the cathedral represents, telling the story of the cathedral and the people who live, the communities who live around it. I think we should definitely have souvenirs, standardized souvenirs, that people in these communities can sell to visitors to generate an income. And I am throwing a call out to anybody who is interested in working with community groups to make them self-sufficient. I am challenging you to buy starter packs for starting a little business. It can be a small souvenir collection to give to young people who live around these communities. It is supposed to start them off. Of course, a lot of them don't have capital, so this is your initial capital injection, and it does not cost a lot. 100 Ghana cedis, $100 would be enough to start somebody off on a self-capacity building process. These young people will trade the souvenirs to people who come to visit. They would make a profit, and they would live off the profit and use the base capital to buy the next consignment to sell. If you are interested, by all means, hit me up privately and I'll tell you where to go and how to do that. Hello, Malone Jackson. I'm not sure about this truth. I don't want to tell them alone. What do you know? If you have stories, share them with us, please. Please tell us. I'm just sharing the little I have seen, but I'm sure there is more to see than what I have seen. As I was saying, we need to train these young people who live near these tourist sites how to actually tour guide, They need to understand what to say to a foreigner when they come to your place. How do you introduce your place? They need communication skills training. They need a clear understanding of the history of the place, how it connects to the national history and national identity. So they are not simply telling people random things they've heard, but they do have a coherent script to give people who come to visit. Somebody comes to a tourist site, they should understand what that tourist site represents isolatedly, but they also need to understand how it connects to our national identity, how that represents Ghana, and possibly because we have the slave trail in Ghana, how that interconnects with other Black origin communities who might not be resident on the continent. This is really important. I think it's heartbreaking that people travel to come home to understand the history, and we are not able to support them to make the most of those visits. That was Navrongo Cathedral. That was not the only one. Paga, for example, is one of the most amazing places I have been to. But it was one of those places which broke my heart again. The guy comes out, he takes 20 cedis, 25 cedis, whatever that was, to buy the chicken. He collected the money. He took you to the pond. He invested a good half an hour towards an hour with my group. He did his bit. The crocodile came out. He is responsible for dealing with the crocodile, but I think there's somebody else who also needs to explain and transcribe what it is going on to the other person watching. I understood he spoke to the crocodile, but I don't understand the language. And because I don't understand the language, the import of that was almost lost on me. I was fortunate that I had a local host who went with me, and he explained what he said and what that implied. But I think that would be lost on somebody else who doesn't have the privilege of an extra person with you. Tourists might not have local people to come with them. I think the facilities need to be made self-sufficient. They need to know exactly what is required to make Ghana tourism a viable place for people to come. I live in the Middle East, and there's a lot of Black Afro-Caribbean people here who want to take that opportunity to come to Africa. And it breaks my heart that every time somebody wants to go to Africa, it's either Zanzibar or Kenya or South Africa. Then I started asking myself, what was wrong with West Africa? What is wrong with Ghana? Why don't people come to Ghana? And I started asking questions. And it turns out, genuinely, most people don't even know we exist. They have no idea the tourist attractions we have. We call ourselves the Black Star of Africa, and we need to start living to the bill. We need an investment. National investment, private individual investment to develop our tourist sites so that it is fit for purpose for people to come visit. This is interconnected to many things. I mean, flights to Ghana, for example, are ridiculously expensive because the route is not busy. Only Ghanaians and people who want to go to Ghana go through the route. And because the route is not busy, of course, a few airlines have monopoly, and the prices are very expensive. This puts a lot of tourists off because they can go to Zanzibar for half the price. They can hop off to Kenya at a third of the price. Why would they pay to come that far out? Why would they pay very expensive flight routes to come to the place only to come walk around and not see much? I am asking individuals involved in the tourism industry. Of course, you would know more than I do. Please share the information you have. Share the information you have openly so everybody who is Ghanaian and willing to share the information with other people also have access to the information. Augustine Anoche, please, I'm watching you live from Seshi. Debiso, Bia West. Oh, wow. You're welcome. Why don't we have people like you in the ministry? Sewapia Abwaje. People like me in the ministry will not be a good idea because when people like me end up in the ministry, we will be so busy in the ministry, we might not be able to share messages on social media like I am right now. So maybe it's a very good idea that people like me are not in the ministry. where we can share information and people in the ministry might listen to the experiences we have on the outside. Nicholas Nana Abdullah, hello. Hello, Nicholas. Hello. Malone Jackson, Ghana is at a mess with wrong government. Well, I don't know. I've seen a few governments come. I've seen a few governments go. Every time we moan and complain about certain things, I think it's gone beyond the government. We always take things in Ghana to politics. I understand everything is political, but not all solutions would come from the government. Individuals need to take action. And when class action occurs, the government has no alternative than to listen. So this video is my initiation of class action, I hope. I hope to incite passion in you. I want to make you frustrated with what is frustrating in order to make noise and to share information until the people who matter, the people who can actually change things, listen to the message and change for us. Justice Ofori Boateng. Hello, Justice. Hello. Thanks for joining us. Justice, where have you joined us from? Where are you watching from? Please keep the comments coming. If you have suggestions and ideas, please keep them rolling. Like I said yesterday, from yesterday, my name is Ama Ghana. I am for everything which allows us to demonstrate the beauty in Ghana, to showcase the things that are not working to our satisfaction and to effect change. We talk a lot as Ghanaians. We have frustrations about a lot of things. When you listen to social media channels and you listen to the regular media, there's a lot of vented frustration, but not a lot of it actually leads towards action. And I think that rhetoric needs to change. We need to complain to highlight issues, but after complaining, we also need to commit to making the change happen. We do not like living in smelly cities. Do not throw things in the gutters. Eventually, when we stop throwing things in the gutters, then we can challenge the government to close them off, because we should not have open gutters in Ghana in 2018. Obviously, when the gutters are open, things are going to end up in the gutters. We will spend ages removing the stuff from the gutters and just keeping them on the edge, so when it rains, it goes back in the gutters. It is a catch-22. We will pick all these things up. But for today, I want to focus on our tourism industry, on the young people who are in Ghana. I mean, I live in the UAE. The UAE is a place in a desert. It's in the middle of a desert. There are places where you will not see even a single plant. But this country has managed to build a vibrant tourism industry on sand. Not many natural resources. Absolutely not. The actual landscape is very stark. There isn't a lot of natural resources to work with. But if these guys can build something in their desert and have Ghanaians running in their hordes, leaving Ghana to come to Dubai, to sit in hotel rooms and not see much, then something is wrong with us and the natural resources we've been blessed with. We need to identify what it is we have hidden in communities. And when we identify those things, we need to highlight them. We need to publicize them. We need everybody to know where these things are and how to access them. And more importantly for me, we need to be ready for tourism. We need to have trained staff for tourism. We need to have investment in the infrastructure themselves. Pathways leading to waterfalls, for example, need to be set. Proper pathways, walkways, so it is safe for people to visit. It is wrong to leave slippery, muddy pathways for people to wobble onto waterfalls. And who would want to come and see this? Who would pay to come and see this? The problem in Ghana now is most of us have become hypocrites. So most of us don't want to say the truth of what is existing there. I think that's one of our problems. Absolutely. Things have new names now. We don't call a spade anymore. A spade is a big spoon in Ghana, it turns out. A problem needs to be called out regardless of your political affiliation. Wrong is wrong, whether your party is in power or not. Right is right when your party is in power or not. If somebody is doing well, you have to congratulate them to boost morale to continue. But if something is wrong, you owe it to the motherland to call it out. Arise, Ghana youth, for your country. That means a lot. The nation is not requesting your devotion. The nation is demanding your devotion. We need to unite and uphold her regardless of our political affiliations. We need to make her great and strong for the survival of our people. Our children need national identity. Our children need to be able to live in a place where they belong, where they are wanted. People who live outside the country would understand exactly what I mean. It is tough on a person and a person's psyche to live in a place when you do not belong, a place where people always expect you to go back home. We need to build a home to return to. We need to build a home we are proud of. We need to build a home that we can bring others to and showcase. We need to make our home self-sufficient. I think colonialism has really damaged us in ways we don't understand. We do not respect our flag. Still, in Ghana now, you will go to offices and you will see the American flag, and I do not understand it. You are not American. Having the flag on your table does not make you American, will never make you American. Even when you end up in America and you have the American passport, it would always have connotations of where you come from. People would always associate you with where you come from. It's about time we owned that identity. It's about time we understood it. It's about time we understood what the flag of Ghana represents. The fight and the struggle before us, the sacrifices other people have made before us, and we owe those people the respect to continue and to sustain what they've done. If we cannot progress it, the least we can do is sustain the progress they have made. Let us unite to uphold her, make her great and strong. The next stanza probably is the most critical. We are all involved, whether we realize it or not, whether we accept it or not, whether we know it or not, we are all involved. Our individual behaviors is what creates a community identity. If your community identity is wrong, it takes one brave and bold individual to call it out, to challenge it. You see corruption, do not walk by, challenge it. Theft is theft, not pa. It is theft. Using working hours for other things apart from work is theft. We need to be clear of these things. Again, I am calling out on any companies, any bodies, people who are connected to the Ministry of Tourism. I am asking that we put all hands on deck to invest in training and development of local talent at our tourist sites in order for these people to deliver professional tours to people who come to the sites. When we are able to deliver professional tours, we will create more traffic that way. More people will come to the place. And when they come to the place, we need to make sure that they invest in the community before they've left. When somebody has come to our community to experience our tourist attraction, they have to contribute before they leave. And it is up to us to create the opportunities for people to contribute. Because in my experience, people who actually travel to Ghana do want to contribute. They are just lost. They don't know how to do so. Let's help them to help us develop our motherland. Yes, sir, Afriye Japa, you are watching, right? Welcome to the program, Nana. Say that again, oh, my sister. Which one is that one? I've been saying a lot of things. Faso, that's an interesting name. Very interesting. Right. Hi. Okay. So, say that again, oh, my sister. The last Doji. Interesting names. Please keep the comments flowing. I want to start from community groups. There is a community group in the Upper East region the Sirugu Women's Group. I want that to be my first community project I share with you. This community project is for a group of women in the Upper East region. They have a community guest house. Again, we like fancy hotels and appearance keeping. Of course, that is good. But when you can, take your children and your people beyond the fancy. Take them to the authentic. Find things that are really Ghanaian. Things that show our Ghanaian identity. If you go to a guest house and the standard is not up to your liking, you call them out, you support them, you tell them exactly what needs to change, and most times people will be willing to listen to you. This community project, they have it's for pottery, but I don't think it's just pottery. They do art and crafts. If your children need to learn about our culture, they need to understand our arts and crafts. Take a holiday. Go up north. Spend a weekend in the facility. Allow your children to take art lessons with them. Let them learn the Ghanaian crafts. Let them fall in love with how skillful we are. Whilst you are there, you are actually within commuting distance of the Navrungo Cathedral. Go see it. And whilst you are there, make noise until people realize we need a tourist office in the facility. Go up to Paga if you dare and sit on the crocodiles. And when you've been, send photos and share with all of us so we can share with other people and they understand what Ghana is. Ghana is bigger than Accra. Ghana is much bigger than Cape Coast. We do have the slave trail, and that's amazing. But Ghana is so much more than just that. How are you? Yes, Apam Book, I am good. I hope you're good too. All right. Please keep sharing. Invite other people to join us because I really, really want to have this discussion with more people. I don't want it to be just a small group. I want everybody to listen to the message. I want the message to be hard-hitting. It's uncomfortable. But you cannot learn, you cannot change unless you go out of your comfort zone. So we are going to go out of our comfort zones on this one. I would like to know which other community groups exist. My knowledge in Ghana is not the most comprehensive. I am researching and I'm discovering a few projects, but I don't think my research alone is enough to reveal the places which we really need to invest in. If you know of any community groups, especially the ones which have guest houses that people can use for accommodation, especially the ones who deliver classes, who deliver art and craft classes, the ones who produce wares which people can buy into and invest into so that the community generates revenue for survival, please, please let us know. I'm from northern region of Ghana, Apambuk. Oh, wow. Which part of the north? Okay, so my knowledge of the northern region is actually restricted to the tourist trail. So if you know any corners I've not found out, please tell me. I went to Mole, love Mole. Larabanga Mosque is another one. I mean, Larabanga Mosque is iconic. But when you go to Larabanga Mosque right now, it is heartbreaking. We do need to support communities to refurbish and to maintain these. We need to help them to maintain. I mean, Larabanga Mosque, all Larabanga Mosque needs right now is a simple lick of paint. A lick of paint, and we are back to new. The photographs will look just as amazing as it did a few years ago. And whilst you are at Larabanga, go and visit the mystery stone. The stories that the boys will tell you about the stone are mind-boggling. I still can't believe that there is a stone in the middle of a road, and in spite of all the equipment which exists to remove it, it has stood the test of time. That clearly says a lot. If you know, I like the way you talk. Oh, Apambuk, thank you. Thank you very much. I wish I could hear the way you talk. That would be the next thing to work on these broadcasts. I would like you to call in and for us to discuss. I would like to hear your opinions. Please keep them rolling. Which part of the northern region of Ghana are you from? Evans Treme, thumbs up to you too. Okay, right, so Mole National Park, beautiful, beautiful place. I think we need an investment in training, again, of the park. The rangers who took us on our trip were amazing, but I think there was still missed opportunity to utilize the people who had turned up. Yes, there is a gift shop, but we need to start looking at the things found in our gift shop. Are the souvenirs in Ghana up to standard? Can you genuinely tell me that you go to Ghana and you buy some fridge magnets or you buy whatever souvenirs and you are not embarrassed to show it to other people? I bought some wooden ones with a small magnet at the back. The magnet broke before we left the country. We've glued it on 6 or 7 times and it keeps falling off. I felt that was below standard. And because I felt it was below standard, I have committed myself, invested into creating magnets and other souvenirs to invest in our tourism industry. When you see something which is not working, please take action to address it. Upon book, okay, you may call. It will be my first call. We can try it and see if it works. Please call. Let's see how it goes. Eric Ba Ajiman. Oh, thank you very much. But as I've been told, I am the classic Ghanaian face. Light-skinned, not. I am certainly not Obroni. Certainly not Obroni. Very Ghanaian, I hope. Authentically Ghanaian, I hope. Okay. So, Apam, I will wait and see if you are able to call in. Please keep the comments coming. I am very grateful for the support. If I annoy you, that's great, because being annoyed sometimes is the stimulus to rise to action. Being frustrated is good, because frustration should lead to change. Sewa Apia Abuaje. Hello. Thank you. You are very kind, Sewa. Very, very kind. Incredibly kind. Okay, so let me put out the call one more time. I've said it a few times. I want to emphasize this particular call. I am putting out a challenge to anybody who works in the tourism industry, who thinks you know logistical problems, making it difficult for our industry to be at par with the counterparts elsewhere. What are the frustrations? What are the problems? What can we fix? What can we change to make it better? What kind of investment should individuals look into to make our tourist sites better? What can the country do? What can the government do to make things better? Let's talk about it. Let's discuss this. If you have hidden gems, you have a guest house, a community group hidden somewhere that we don't know about, please let me know. My Facebook name is Amma Manson. You can send it to me directly. You can send it through the announcer, whatever channel works best for you. As long as you are engaging, absolutely fine with me. Mama Ruth, I salute you, sweet mum. Where is Mama Ruth? Hi, Deborah. Betty Deborah. Oh, hi. Hi, Betty. Right. Hello, Mama Ruth. I salute you too. Okay. I want to pause here for now. Allow us all some time to think and to ponder on what I have brought. Amma Manson, yes. That's my name. Look me up. You can send me messages directly, no problem. You can send it through the announcer, absolutely fine. Samuel Vasco Tete, you are very inspirational, keep it up. I am very Ghanaian. I am very proud of my identity. And I am hoping that I can incite that identity, the love of our identity, amongst more people. We need to own who we are because it is who we are. When you see an item with the Ghana flag on it, it should be the first item you want to pick up. You want people to know who you are because whether you want it or not, that is who you are. And we need to embrace it. We need to own it. We need to be proud of it. And other people will then have no other option than to respect it. It doesn't matter if people think we come from a shithole. If we own it and we are proud of it and we make it the best shithole we possibly can, believe you me, people will pay to come see it. Yeah, Pam, I don't know how this works. I'm going to have a look at this. I will ask for technical support and see if I can get people's help in enabling the calling feature. I haven't tried it before. This is my second broadcast, so I am brand new to this whole thing. Give me a little bit of time. I will figure it out. Hopefully, before my next broadcast, I will have it figured out. Frank Asante, please, are you married? Yes, I am. I am married. Are you? Oheneba Mwakutifo, I love your name. I love it when we own our names like that. It is so Ghanaian, it is so authentic, and it is beautiful. Yao Yao, you really got command over English, and I like the way you clearly speak. Keep it up. Thank you. You should hear me speak Tree. Very authentic too. And I think that's the most important thing. Of course, we will learn other people's languages and we will learn to speak it. We will learn to command it because we need to speak it very well for people to respect us, especially in our workplaces. But in the same way, we can also be proud of our language. If you can speak your language, if you can write your language, if you can own your language, I think that is even more admirable than speaking English. Oh, Melanin and I are friends. Absolutely, Kwejo. Kwejo Siam Amwako. Melanin and I, we get along just fine. Let's push to christen our own names. I think that's one of the most important things. So when we had our kids, we chose not to give them any other name except a full complement of Ghanaian names. And we spent ages explaining to the children why they are Ghanaian, what their names mean, how that relates to their identity, because that is who we are. We were forced at some point to change our names by the master, and I use the term master with inverted commas. But the master has been long gone. It's been more than 60 years since the master was ousted. We have had the freedom to go back to what our names were before then. Nobody is forcing us to have funny names. If we choose to have it, it is our choice. No problem. But I think we also need to understand there is nothing wrong with our names. Actually, there is everything right with our names. My name is Ama Chinwa Manson. That is my name. This is great. Amos Abeka Jr. Hello, Amos. Welcome to the program. I live in the US, that I always tell my wife and all my family about my culture. That is your responsibility, Apam. That is your job, especially if you're a parent. It is your job to educate your children to know who you are, to understand where you're from, in order to have a chance to be successful in going forward. That's not a privilege you're giving to the kids. That is actually your responsibility. You need to tell them where they are from. And if you can, take them to go and experience it. Take them to Ghana. Don't go to fancy hotels because you see that abroad anyway. Let them go to Ghanaian communities and experience what Akwaba really means. What love from people who genuinely love you actually means. Tumba Dembele Diallo. Let's try and speak our own language, especially in our parliament. If you travel anywhere in this world, everyone speaks his native language. You've hit it right there. To be honest, I mean, when you speak English, we speak English and you try and get command over the language, no problem with that. But there is an authenticity in what you want to say when you say it in your language. Let me say this in Chi. Kwesi, I don't like what it is you are doing. Kwesi, stop it now. Doesn't have the same impact as Kwesi diye wuye na meninye ho. Ube jai diye wuye na seseya. Not the same impact. I think there is power behind the language. There is command behind the language. We really need to understand this in order to engage with it fully. I'm still searching for one like you, madam. Frank, I will pray for you. There's plenty like me. My face is very classic Ghanaian. I think people confuse me for everybody they see. Most ladies in Ghana look like me. Oh, before we started changing color. That's another issue we will discuss another day. Before we worked so hard to try and look like Obroni, and look, our bone structure is not even designed to look like Obroni. It's too hard. Being who we are is so much easier. So much easier. We would discuss the change in complexion and a lot of other things later. But for right now, I want to discuss our tourism industry. I was in Ghana like a few months ago with all my family members. Fabulous. I think we should make those trips regular. And I am challenging you. When you go to Ghana now, please look for tours that you can take your family members on. Most of the children born abroad hate going to Ghana for one main reason. The parents go to Ghana. They leave them in the house. The parents go to see their friends. The parents socialize. The parents are happy. The parents want to relax, which is great. But what you've done there is left your kids indoors the whole holiday. They haven't seen anything of Ghana. They don't see the beautiful things of the place. Of course, they will hate it when they go back and never want to come back. Hey, the Brofosem plenty too much in Ghana, massa. This one you want to bring to this topic today? The Brofosem. Hey, sometimes when you are abroad, you don't see as many Abrofo as when you go to Ghana. Lord, have mercy. I've been to many places where I have said Wafamachi to some people, and they've looked at me. Oh, good afternoon. How are you, madam? I'm fine. Wafamachi, untichi, menka wa igbe. But can we engage in our lingua anyway? That's why I'm dropping this track very soon. Melanin Goddess. Oh, wow. When you drop it, send me a copy. I would love to hear Melanin Goddess. I think the title is so catchy. But yeah, look, I think people who are singers should sing about it. The poets should write about it. The people with big mouth like me should talk about it. If you are a playwright, write plays about it. If everybody is communicating the same message in various forms, at some point the message will embed. Black is beautiful. It does not crack. Most people will see me and not guess my age. They will see the kids with me and shock. They get completely shocked that my kids are that age and I look the way I do because it does not crack. We really, really need to learn to respect what it is we've been blessed with for free. We don't need to become anybody else. We need to understand we are who we are, whether we like it or not. And at some point, we accept who we are and we live it proudly. Where do I live? Apam, I live in the UAE, the country which contains Dubai. Dubai is not even the national capital. Abu Dhabi is the national capital. Beautiful place. I think Ghanaians definitely should come to Dubai. I want Ghanaians to come and see what you can do when the odds are against you, so that we can take it home and realize those of us who have, these guys have hit oil, we also have oil now. They don't have gold, we do have it. They don't have bauxite, we do have it. Gold, bauxite, name it, cocoa, agricultural lands, beautiful agricultural lands. All sorts of natural resources exist in Ghana. There is absolutely no logical reason why Ghana should not be a prosperous country. We just need to learn to manage what we've been blessed with. You have a brother who lives in Dubai. Oh, wow. Right, he's my neighbor then. Dubai is probably 1.5 hours-ish from where I am. But we are broke, oh Charlie. I think our brokenness, Tumba Dembele Diallo, the brokenness is mental brokenness first. We are broken mentally. The colonial master made us doubt ourselves. We did not own our identity anymore. We did not understand our history anymore. We were trying so hard to be them. And it's not possible to be them because we are not them. And we need to learn the simple truth, return to what we are and what we know, and move forward from there. As long as we are trying to become other people, we will be imposters. And as long as we are imposters, we will never be as good as the original. We need to be the original us. We need to make the original us attractive so other people want to be us. At some point, being African became an embarrassment you didn't want to own up to. The melanin speaks. The melanin speaks loudly, and we need to accept this. Me too. I am living in Dubai. Really, Frank? Wow. Which part of Dubai? Do you live in Dubai or do you live in Dubai? That is one of the things I've discovered recently. Apparently there is Dubai, the fancy one that people visit. And there is Dubai, where you go and you buy stuff and you see places like Kowloon. If these Emiratis are able to hide places like the Jerez and not make noise about them and still have a successful tourism industry coming to this country, we need to learn. Nima will always be Nima, probably, and Nima will always be there, and Nima is part of our identity. We will not hide Nima and the likes of it. What we need to do is to find other things to drive people's attention to balance it out. We will always want to depend on the government to make us rich, and that's our biggest problem. It's not